Right, live number 2. Let's do it. Let's do it. It's the Hoop Call. It's episode 24, and it's gonna drop. Thank you very, very much. Right. Today it's me and Tobes holding it down as the playoffs are in full swing. We love it. We love it. But guys, before we start, let me remind you, it's at the Hoop Call on socials. It's the Hoop Call on YouTube, where we do most of our lives now. And you know the number. We'll leave it in the description. Get in touch. Tobes, it's your turn. Say what up.
Howdy all my gentlemen, howdy all my people, how we doing? Quick
It's
turnaround,
official.
ready to cover some nice hoop talk.
It's official. It's official. Tobes, I had an absolute shocker this weekend. I actually ended up going to like a pickup basketball tournament. I was supposed to go there just to watch, to be fair, due to my extensive injury history. But I ended up shooting a few shots. And the one that I missed went viral. A horrible airball. But I got the bug for some pickup,
Yeah, I'm in.
You saw it, didn't you?
You did show me. I like it when a man fesses up. He's trying to beat the viral. That's what it is. But the people are watching. People message me like, yeah, I saw that. So people are watching. Under close scrutiny.
The thing is, like, you forget that as well as having placement in your shot, you have to have a bit of power. There's got to be a little bit of heave. And I think I just went for too much placement, and it just came up short. The line was off as well. But I'm telling you, I can hoop. Nah, not really. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
Right.
We'll get out there.
Right. Okay. Listen, the playoffs are delivering. I'll tell you what. I'm a bit upset about the injury situation. We'll get into that, But the playoffs are delivering. It's just so different, isn't it? The basketball in the playoffs is just so unbelievably different to watching a regular season game. That Nets Bucks game yesterday, I was like, yeah. You see proper defense. You're like, wow. You see proper defense, and sometimes you just see even better offense. You're like, whoa. I'll sure you agree. We will get to that, Tobes. We will get to that because I know you got a lot to say. But first, okay. Where's Will Smith? Yeah, I want to go west first and get people up to date on what's going on, because I don't know if these words shocking, but it's something, all right. Let's start off with the Phoenix Suns and the Denver Nuggets. That's round 2 of the playoffs, essentially the semi-finals. It's over already. If you blink, you missed it. Phoenix swept these guys, Tobes. Phoenix swept these guys. Now, I occasionally do this. I'm going to find my music. I do like having music for most of my segments. Pandora's box score. I look into box scores so you guys don't have to. Check this. You'll love this. Chris Paul.
Did the music come through? The music drop? Did the music drop?
Let's try again.
I'm waiting for. I'm a big fan of that music as well. So I'm just making sure it's coming through. I think at the moment I'm just hearing you. But I want to make sure I'm hearing them sweet sound lips. I didn't hear the intro music either, so I was like, oh man, I'm feeling feeling bad. So I'm just double checking with my man before we continue.
It's definitely recording. Don't worry, leave it with me. Yeah. Right? Leave it with me. What about now?
You sound better. That's step 1. And now I hear your music. There we go.
Right.
So okay. I didn't actually hear the intro, but I thought it might just be me. Then that's better. There we go. Now I feel.
Well blessed. This is the perils of recorded live. I'll roll with it. Okay, check this.
Right, it's a Monday, innit? So crack on.
Right. Okay. So, Chris Paul in this series, 25.5 points a game, 10.3 assists, 5 rebounds. Yeah, that's very good. Very good point guard stats. Yeah, field goal percentage, 62.7% from the field. 3-point percentage, 75%. Free throw percentage, 100%. How is that possible?
You love to see it, man.
How is that possible? I'm so happy for him. Yeah. I've christened him already. He's gone from CP3 to CMVP3. I wanted to know from you, did he prove anything this series, or do you think it's not done until the job's done? I can't make my mind up yet.
I don't think he's proven anything. All that's happened is he's been healthy, like properly healthy, which is crazy to think because
actually,
he came into this series obviously carrying the stinger. There was big drama about how, I mean, even to get to this stage, there was big drama when they were facing LA about will he be fit enough to play for them. And if anything, it seems like he's actually managed to get healthy and properly healthy. And we saw that yesterday. For CP3 to be like eliminating a team and dropping 37 points, that's when you know the guy's feeling himself, because he's not normally a scorer.
Thing. Yeah. He was just up for it. He was up for it.
He's just he knew they were on their throat. He was like, he's the old wise head of the team, so he knew he didn't want to play no games. But like you say, the efficiency of it, 14 for 19 from the field is very impressive. But overall, I'd like to think, yeah. He was clutch. He was clutch. But overall, I don't think he's proven anything. I think everyone's got mad respect for him. It's just great. It's really great to see him healthy. And honestly, the Phoenix Suns, man. No one had them. I'd love to see anyone that had them sweeping the Nuggets 4-0, 4-zip. It was very impressive. They just came in and they just didn't stop rolling. So the momentum is all on their side. And honestly, why can't they come out the West the way it's coming? It doesn't even genuinely the way they're playing, why can't they? So very impressive.
You know what the thing is, yeah? Basketball, okay, it's always going to be a superstar driven sport. Okay, there's only 5 players on the court at one point in time. So if you got stars, you're in a great position. Okay. I would say, Phoenix have stars / superstars, people on that precipice. But I'm seeing throughout the league, maybe it's the advent of analytics and stuff, that team basketball can get you a decent way these days, can keep you very competitive, just through the analytics, getting the right shots at the right time. I look at the Phoenix Suns team and still, I mean, they got Bridges, obviously, Ayton kind of playing well, Book and CP3, but you got to admit they're kind of outperforming they're more than the sum of their parts. Would you say that? For sure. You say we're just not rating the sum of their parts high enough?
No, it is. If you've got a roster with Jay Crowders and Mikal Bridges, it's not got the same punch or star power as the Nets, right? So of course, and there's even levels to this. It's like not a lot of these people are household names. Like if you think about it, you've got Chris Paul, genuine household name. You got Devin Booker, an up and coming household name. And when I say that, I mean average basketball fan may know his face, may know his name, but not really know him, whereas he's now coming out. And then other than that, it's just a bunch of well put together, well sorted pieces around it. DeAndre, put some respect on it. They just made the Western Conference Final. They were nobodies, but they're becoming bodies. You know what I mean? Like a lot of teams will be looking at their rosters thinking, damn, I could use a Mikal Bridges, or damn, I could use a campaign. These people were playing out, they're balling. They are bucking the trend, but I feel like as you teased that, this is the one season where this kind of thing was probably possible because no one stuck their hands up.
Yeah. Just a weird season all around.
Weird season all around. A lot of the superstars have not been 100% healthy, or even if they have, it seems like they're not at their top. You know what I mean? They're not
tired.
Like they're looking tired, looking a bit leggy. So yeah.
All the superstars this year have had like these sort of leggy periods, probably apart from the Joker. Even Luka at the beginning, Dame had a little mid-season dip. KD's been out, Kyrie's been out, Harden's been out, LeBron's been, name it. It's just been a funny season, but I'm here for it, to be honest. Now my team's out.
I'm here for it. And your team's obviously not in contention this year, so I'm sure you're just enjoying the chaos, as long as everyone stays healthy.
Fully, man, fully.
I'll ask you a flip question though, Tobes, because I can't quite put my finger on it. The Joker, MVP, stats-wise, amazing. What can he learn from this series? Or what can the Nuggets learn from this series? I don't know if there's anything more he could have done, but it's, people forget he looks about 50, but I think he's only like 23, 24. He's a young guy. A lot of young stars go through these growing pains. MVP getting swept is not a good look. Let's be honest, that ain't a good look. But I'm always interested to see what can he learn. What do you think he could do differently to take this Denver team over the top?
I think it's a powerful lesson to be the number one anchor for your team in all facets of the game. Not many people actually get the chance, even if you're the number one option. The number one option in one aspect. If we look at Utah Jazz, for example, Donovan Mitchell is clearly their number one option, but he's not. It's not on him to constantly facilitate the offense or constantly be the barometer for that team. Their roster is good enough for them all to pitch in. Rudy Gobert's defensive captain, Donovan Mitchell's offensive captain, but even then, you got Joe Ingles, etc., running the point. At Denver, and what they had this postseason, everything was the Joker, from offensive barometer to defensive barometer. He felt that LeBron James weight, I think, basically. And I think that's a powerful experience you can only get by doing this kind of postseason. So I think what he takes away from it is, one, that he can lead a team. I mean, let's not forget he had a great postseason as well. He led them past the Rolling Blazers and Dame. I think he gained a lot of experience in what it takes to win postseasons and how much he's going to be a force when Jamal Murray comes back. Because we gave him a lot of flack this season. He was very up and down like a yo-yo. But I do think in the postseason, someone like that, a legitimate just scorer, especially on that Denver team where they've got the pieces around them, like they were asking too much of Aaron Gordon. MPJ had his moments, but maybe he needs a couple more seasons to just gel, just to have that legitimate shoot first scoring guard. I'm joking now.
Oh, don't know if you can hear me. We've kind of.
He comes across a lot deeper, so it's a tough blow. I mean, like you said, 4-0 is not nice on anyone, especially the MVP. But let's take it as a lesson learned.
I don't know. I genuinely don't know what I think of this. Like, I think he's done. I personally think it's a team issue. As you said, I think the loss of Bubble Murray kind of clouds the picture, but I don't know if Denver need to go looking for a whale now, if they can. I don't know who you can get, to be honest with you. Obviously people sniff. There's always someone. But a part of me thinks
DeMarcus DeRozan.
Oh my goodness. What are you talking about?
You see, one, because the free agency list is trash this offseason. But two, he's a legitimate fix for them. Why not? He's a scorer. He can facilitate and can shoot.
Why have we spoken about DeMar DeRozan so much in this pod? Mate, he's a relic. He's a relic. He's a relic. I'd rather get a Harrison Barnes or Mikal Bridges or something than a DeMar. But unless you can get him on the dirt cheap, vet max, vet minimum or whatever, he's nice to have. But I want to see a big move. I feel like a superstar move. I'd love to see Beal there. Everyone just throws Beal into everything now. I want someone to go and fish in Washington or go and fish in Minnesota. But that's a separate point. Mike Malone, I think his job's safe, but I don't know I don't know if Denver think, you know what, Jamal, what's he going to look like after his injury? If they can get a whale, if they can flip him and someone else for a whale and pair him with Joker, I think that's a great opportunity. But that's just my thoughts. That's just my thoughts. Listen, I wish Ollie was here.
You're right.
I wish Ollie was here because I want to move on quickly to the flippers, aka the Clippers. Yeah, I wish I could just ask them straight. What's going on? Are they a decent team? Or are they not a decent team? Like 1 second they look like, oh, they've got it all figured out. They're this great, deep, balanced team, can defend, can play great offense, can shoot the three. And then the next game, they'll just look a bit listless, a bit disinterested. You can't get the rotations on defense, and they let players just destroy them. They seem to lose confidence. They're these massive front runners. No, I think they're the inverse of front runners. Whatever they're inverse to it, they like just backs to the wall. Then they start playing. I don't get them. Who have you got? So at the moment, just to clarify for you guys, the listeners, Utah Jazz are leading the series 2-1. Clippers most recently won yesterday, and pretty convincing fashion. Kawhi and Paul George combined for, I believe, 65 points and look good. Donovan looked like he twisted his ankle, actually. I saw that. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Just explain to me these flippers, man. Yeah, Ollie, I'm calling them the flippers when you listen back to this.
I mean, it's a pretty good nickname, I'm not gonna lie. Like
Thank you.
He must be feeling all sorts of pain. Because they are a straight up weird team.
They're a horrible team to support. Horrible team to support.
Because this, I'm telling you, I mean, when we predicted, I predicted Clippers in 7. I think this is going deep. So, like you say, Ollie ain't ever getting like no calm Phoenix Sun run, like where they get things done in 6 and then bang bang. It's like this is going long. So the Suns are going to be like Chris Paul's getting all the rest he needs. You know what I mean? Like,
Chris Paul would love to knock out. Chris Paul would love to knock out Clips, and I'm there for it.
You know, it's a bit of a sidebar, but it's the classic rust versus rest. Like, do Phoenix actually want this to go 7 and then slog each other, or are they on such a roll that they want a quick turnaround? But anyway, that's another debate. True. The Clippers will go as far as I think their 2 wing stars take them. It is key to note that Batum and Reggie Jackson both dropped 17 points. Now, if you're new to the playoffs, you may think, 17 points isn't too much. But from your your third tertiary and fourth scorer, that's big in playoffs, 17 points. And they were on efficient shooting. And another thing to note is the Clippers, what made them successful in the regular season was their free ball. And that's what's been falling in this destruction of the Utah Jazz. Like the Utah Jazz are the best 3-point shooting team in the league. So if you want to keep toe with them or beat them, you're gonna have to also drop the ball too. So at their starting unit, they dropped 16 threes from the starting 5, which is pretty impressive at a good clip.
The Flippers or Utah?
The Flippers.
Oh, the Flippers.
So we're led by Paul George going 6 for 10, and Batum 4 for 6, and Reggie Jackson 5 for 6. So that's some big threes. I think they've got to keep it up, of course. They're playing really small. One, because they don't have a big man. They've got Zubac, but he can't really keep up with Rudy Gobert. And I think they're also playing small to try and force Utah's hand to say, if we keep it really small ball and keep nailing our threes, it should eventually open up the paint because you're going to have to switch. Then you've got Kawhi driving, you've got Paul George driving, and these are lanky, long, athletic guys who know how to finish around the room.
So awkward to defend.
So awkward. So I think the Clippers and Ty Lue know their game plan. Just the thing is, can they execute it? Are they always geared and turned on? You know, like MJ. You can imagine MJ on this kind of team where someone or Kobe or anyone who demands like intensive excellence of all time. You just feel like the Clippers, they ain't got that gear, they ain't got that motor. Like there's no one on that team.
Isn't it? It's a personality issue.
It is. Like if Steve Ballmer could get on the court, he'd be that guy. He'd be up in their face like, let's go. Alas, he's just the owner.
I find it weird. Like Kawhi, he's been paid like 40 million a year or whatever. He literally just comes across like it's a 9 to 5. He like clocks in, but
robot, man.
He's a weird but you can't say he doesn't deliver. He's a great playoff performer. But sometimes, there's intangibles. I wonder about the flippers. But in basketball, if there's one sport where talent can just get you through, it's basketball. So that's why I'm still with the Clippers. I'm with the Clippers in 7. I'm with the Clippers to get through to the final still, just talent-wise. If you have to just hedge a bet, you just go with talent, right? And if Brooklyn are still banged up, I think they can have a good run at Brooklyn. So fair play to them. I'm really hoping Utah, Donovan Mitchell's just healthy. Just give him a chance. You know what I mean? I'm really hoping they're healthy. Because without Donovan, it's a wrap. Let's be honest. It's a certified wrap.
And just to mention, he's been amazing. Like, he's been really good this postseason. Like,
is he officially a superstar? Official? It's difficult for me to do that, but I'm going to defer to you on this.
I think he is. Because we just said it ourselves. If he's not there, what is that team? If he is there, there is no reason why they don't come out the West. To have that kind of impact on your team, you are a star, right?
I didn't feel that in the regular season. Like, I felt that like he did well. I think he averaged like 25 points a game, whatever. But it was like quite a very balanced attack, and I didn't feel that in the regular season.
They're prime cut ready for a regular season. You know what I mean? The Utah Jazz, like everyone, Jordan Clarkson was at 6th man, 18 points a game. So you can always just like win, small win. And with defense, it's like in the playoffs is where you're seeing it, right? Like he came back and they just blew out the Grizzlies like it was nothing when they were struggling before. And first 2 games he was dropping. I mean, like you say, these guys like to let the stars go. Like if you want to put your bet also on any stars going for 50, it's going to be against the Clippers in the postseason game. But
they get like scared or something.
Literally, I'm like, on paper, Ty Lue must be thinking like, I've got Kawhi and Paul George. We can guard anyone. Yet Luka had his way. Donovan's having his way.
But like easy as well. It's like easy buckets. Like they get to the rim, they're crossing people.
Who knows what Booker will do if they meet him? It's like, yeah, right. Who knows, man? But
you know what I mean? You want the star to get, okay, he'll get 30, but you want 30 off like 26 shots or something. Make it difficult. Just make it. He doesn't score in the 4th quarter because he's so tired. Like the Clippers are just conga line to the basket. Oh dear. Oh man, I love the playoffs. I can't stress to you guys how much I love the playoffs. I never sleep during this period though, but I love the playoffs. Right, Tobes. Everyone wants to talk about the Nets and Bucks, but we're forgetting there's a very big series going on that is genuinely up in the air. I think we still have a winner that we think is going to be there, but I'm talking about the Philadelphia 76ers and the Atlanta Hawks. Currently 2-1 to the 76ers. And game 4, I believe, is tonight in Atlanta. I've just got a feel. I'm putting it out there. Yeah, I've got a feeling Trae Young's going to go nuclear. He's not the type of person who will like this talk about, Ben Simmons is shutting him down and all this nonsense. He's just the type that is not going to like that talk. Danny Green injured. I just feel that Trae Young's going to go nuclear. Personally, my feeling saying Atlanta is going to tie up the series. What do you reckon? I know we only spoke a few days ago and your feeling was that Philly just have a bit too much, but I don't know if you've had any other thoughts since then, knowing that Green's out and that obviously Embiid is carrying this injury.
Yeah, it's Danny Green out for 2 weeks. It's just a shame. Obviously, Doc Rivers likes him as a body, but to be honest, it's not really the end of the world. Was he moving the needle so much for them on either end of the court, offensively or defensively? I don't think so. If anything, it may give the opportunity for Tybalt to just come in and start straight away and just rotate between him and Ben Simmons marking Trae Young. I'm with you in the sense that I think we're due a big Trae Young game, either a 30 and 15 assists double or just pure scoring, or just like a 45-50. Why not? Steph mode. Pull up Quavo. Yeah. Quavo going mad. Dropping some tunes. But But yeah, it comes down to health, really. It comes down to health. Embiid is a weird one. I was texting you guys, and when it happened, didn't it? Like, he had a little injury, he had a little scare in the last game, and you're like, I swear this brother's got something wrong with his meniscus, and he's just like diving for everything and rebounding hard. And then he went down. I'm sure everyone held their breath. And then like a couple possessions later, he's dunking again. So I don't really, I mean, you have to break this down probably maybe in a little teaser vid. Because what is a meniscus tear? Why is it? Why are people cautious? Yet this brother is dunking whenever the hell he wants. And it's like every time he goes down, you hold your limit, but you hold your breath, sorry. But you're like, what's happening? So yeah.
Honestly, I don't know how he's doing so well with an acute meniscus tear. So meniscus is obviously like it's basically like a disc in between your knee, and it's like a bit of softening cartilage, which helps take a lot of force from your thigh bone that goes down into your leg bone, right? So it's really like important. So if you get a tear in it, some people can be lucky. Like if it's small in the right position, it's not really doesn't really bother them. But when it's like just happened, and obviously he missed games, the knee started to swell. I'm surprised it settled this quickly. And sometimes it's not about getting on the court, but the performance. Anyone can get on the court, but for him to be performing at actually a higher level, I don't know how he's doing it. I think it's just pure will. I'm sure they've had ways to sort of manage the pain, and he's clearly made up in his mind. The doctors would have said to him, listen, there's a chance this could get worse. He's clearly made up in his mind, like this could be the year. You know, you're not promised a title in your career. This could be the year. I'm playing, I'm battling through pain. If it goes, it goes, and I deal with it, and I love it. But listen, I think people forget this because he's so injured. People forget, bro, this guy's African. You think there's meniscal tears in Africa? Bro, you play.
Can you walk? If you can walk, why can't you dribble? You can dribble, why can't you dunk, my friend? Yeah, exactly.
This nonsense meniscal tear, man. Nah, he's battling. I don't know how. I don't want to jinx it, but I don't know how much left he's got in the tank. I don't know if you can have 4 or 5 40-point games in a playoff series with a torn meniscus when you're 7-2, 7-3. How Sway? All I can say is I respect it. And he really needs
what
to
do you do? Let me give you a scenario. What do you do if you blow out, if they play tonight, they blow the Hawks out? He has another tumble, not severe, and he says he can play. Do you play him in game 5 to seal the deal? Or do you say, let's give him that extra rest, knowing that you're going to face a potentially banged up Nets? And that is what everyone wants to see. Everyone wants to see Joel Embiid cook. Sorry, disrespect to the Bucks, and we'll probably touch on that. But whoever they face, you want to see him at their final form there. Do you sit him in the game 5, or do you say, now let's crack on, tape it up, and we go again?
Honestly, for me, the job's not done until it's done, and for that reason, I would play him. I'd play him in game 5. I'll make sure let's get this series done quick, because the other series looked like it might go 6 or 7, and get him rested. That's what I'll do. You don't, because the thing is, you don't want to rest him, and then all of a sudden you lose a game, and then then it just gets a bit hairy,
Yeah.
That's just my thoughts, but I see both ways. But I think in the playoffs, you can't be looking forward. You need to be in the moment. You need to be in the moment. If you're looking past your opponent, you're going to end up in trouble. And that's just my 100%.
View. No, makes sense. I mean, I'm just looking at the stats. The guy is feasting. He's averaging 35, 10 rebounds and 2.3 blocks.
Now is a big man. That is a big man. That's how you do it. You don't Kristaps. He might take 2 threes a game, but there's the days of Joel Embiid taking 6 threes a game or whatever. That's over. He's a big man. And the thing I like about him as well, big men take notes again. He's got moves. He can play with his back to the basket as well. Even Giannis, who I love, like if you watch him, he doesn't play much with his back to the basket. I'm like, come on, man. It's a little shake, So yeah, I'm hoping that will inspire other big men to just put that work back in and not say, "Oh, this is a dead skill set. Let's practice threes." Have both, really. Have both. So who have you got? Let's just firm that up. Just remind me.
For tonight, I've got
for the series.
Oh, for the series, I've got Philly going through. I think they'll find a way to. I got Philly going through in 6.
In 6, I got
flip-flopping. I don't know what I said last time, but I'll say 6.
Yeah, I got Philly in 6 as well, because I think the Atlanta Hawks are going to win tonight. I think then Philly will hold their home court, and then I think they'll close them out as they start to sort of hone in. When when you can taste it, I think then they will be like, okay, let's do this now. That's my feeling on the thing. But we'll have to see. Now, I know this is what a lot of people have been waiting for. I'm hoping this is still the right clip. Remember the Stones? Remember Fusion Watts? He did it at the beginning when the big three got together. I remember when we spoke about that then, yeah?
I remember. How many times have we seen it?
And I was saying, you were saying they're not quite the right Gotenks yet. They're still the fat Gotenks, this, that, and the other. Now they're not even Gotenks.
Man, they missed the Popo and Krillin. That's what they are, man. No, they're Chaozu because they're always injured. Chaozu and Tien. That's what they are, man.
Oh, they're a great little duo, mate. Chaozu and Tien.
Give them sensu beans and then we can talk. You know what I mean? Like
real talk. For those of you who don't know, the Brooklyn Nets are facing off against the Milwaukee Bucks. The series is currently tied at 2-2. That's my favorite position for any series to be in, because it's basically becomes the best of 3 series. It's tasty, it's juicy. We love a 2-2. Yeah. Unfortunately, Kyrie Irving got injured yesterday, and it looked quite bad actually. It looked quite a bad ankle sprain. That's to add to James Harden also being injured of a hamstring strain that he got in game 1. So the Brooklyn Nets lost yesterday pretty handily. You texted me actually, Steve Nash threw in the towel with about 4 minutes to go. You didn't seem that impressed with that move. I got to ask you this question. And I hate talking about it because he's a great player, but I'm just going to ask it straight up because we talk about legacy, we talk about the greats. Kevin Durant, he's played his whole career pretty much with Russell Westbrook. And, that's his OKC team, your original team, were pretty stacked, actually. Pretty dope team. Then he went to Golden State Warriors and played with Steph and Klay Thompson. So he never was double teamed or, triple teamed on defense for about 3 years. Yep. And he's come here and he's played in another super team. He's now been christened the best player in the world as LeBron's crashed out. Luka's crashed out. And people, they don't sort of see him as the same level of Giannis. Kevin Durant, you are a back-to-back MVP, finals MVP even. You are currently seen as the best player in the world. What is your expectation of him in this series now?
I expect him to go nuclear. We would, if we keep our DBZ analogy, when which transformation do I want to go with? You want to know, you know when Goku went Super Saiyan 3 and it just blew everyone's mind because you're like, bro,
you had this
long mullet, long old mullet. The way they drew him was the gold complexion. I'm expecting this from KD. I'm expecting some kind of, because he's like, no one's around, all my allies are dead. It's me or Majin Buu, aka Giannis. I've got to go Super Saiyan 3. And to be honest, I've always wanted to see KD in his predicament. Like, I don't wish any ill health on anyone. But actually, in the pre-calls, I did say, if one of them gets injured, then, but I didn't want it to happen. But now 2 have happened. So crazy. I think Kyrie's results came back negative, which was good. But it just looks like a hit. The way he landed, it was like a full one. Nice, so maybe he's out. He's definitely out next game. Who knows how far out? But I want it. It's kind of like mono on mono now. You know what I mean? It's kind of like KD versus Giannis, and that's it. Like, I know you could say Middleton's a bit better than who have they now got? Joe Harris, Brown. But I also feel like KD is good enough. there's no reason why KD can't just go crazy. If we are calling him, if we want to give him that title of best player in the world, why can't he go out there and hit a nice, efficient 45, 10, and 7? You know what I mean? And just drag his team. So this would be good. I think I understand your questions about Legacy. The guy, he ain't got anything, to be honest, very legacy to wise. But if you go deep in the details, like us basketball geeks and stuff, you'd be like, oh yeah, I do remember that time he did bail them out because the other two were down. You know what I mean? If they lose again, and then people will point, oh, why didn't KD bear the flag then? Why didn't he carry them? You know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing, because firstly, I'm liking your analogy. So you're basically, what you're saying is this.
So what are you going to do about it?
Guess I'll go super.
Huh?
Oh my gosh. Imagine that, KD just talking to Nash. He's like, don't worry.
in that clip, it's the Vegeta, that gets me every time.
I periodically just watch you on YouTube just to sort of crack me up. It's genuinely hilarious for the DPZ fans out there. But I'm with you. To answer my own question, my expectations are that he will get. The thing is, you don't know in the last 3 games, will he be on his own for all 3 or for 1? I expect in these last 3 games for him to get 1. There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that. If you are the best player in the world, you have to be able to just put it on your back and just do like a Donovan Mitchell, dare I say it, you can't even talk about these players in the same sphere as KD. You know what I mean? But do a Steph, do a Donovan Mitchell, do a Luka, and say, you know what? Okay, fine. I got to do it. I'm better than all these guys. I'm the best player on this court. Let me just do it. Let me play 41 minutes. I'll put up 24 shots, 46 points. I have to facilitate all of a sudden. Even if it's usage assists, like 9 assists, 9 rebounds, and just carry them, he has to be able to do that for 1 game. Because if he can do that for 1 game, okay, then maybe you get Kyrie back for game 7. You get Harden back for game 7. You can get him over the line. I'm not giving him a pass. For someone at his level, I'm not giving him a pass. I'm seeing, Chris Broussard, Skip Bayless, a couple of people starting to say, well, he's on his own, it's difficult against the Bucks. And no. If you are that level, you get 1. You get at least 1 game and you push to get another. You know what I mean? If they're out for all 3 games and he gets 1 and then in game 7 he just falls short, it's a heroic performance. Okay, fine. You lose a game. But you can't be like, okay, they're out and then they just lose games 5 and 6, done. That's a bad look for me personally. And I know he's got his legacies intact, but as you said, it's the type of thing you just look at and you say, well, okay, he won the titles when he was in Golden State. The only times he ever had to prove himself, he fell short on his own, and that's it. Conversely, as just because of the way history looks back at things, it's going to be a weird one for Giannis. If Giannis can get through, all of a sudden on paper, he slayed the beast.
Hey, I don't think, because it's the Bucks, I don't think anyone will actually care at all.
Because the thing is, I like the way you put it. Now it's 1-on-1. It's superstar. It's 1-on-1. It's The Rock versus Stone Cold.
Yeah. It's the way it should. It's the way not the way it should be, but the way it was once upon a time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Every team
you had one superstar and your roster V, and it just felt more like So yeah, I mean, if anything, and I it was great to watch actually. I caught the second half of the game yesterday, and you could feel them rallying as well. Because I was worried at one point, and that's why I got angry about the Steve Nash thing, because they were chasing the game. I mean, like you quoted it earlier, right? You said like you don't want to let things go in the playoffs. Like every game, every minute matters. So to call it so early where it was like down by 15, and I'm just thinking a couple of KD pull up threes, just let him carry it down, and then you're like kind of in it, and then like Dame did, and the Bucks can just implode mentally, because all it takes is seeing 3 back-to-back daggers, and you're like, oh god damn, what happens now?
I like what you said about the Bucks imploding mentally. Check this, right? I was looking at I was listening to some stats today. Skip Bayless was dropping it. The Bucks, when they win a series or win a game in the playoffs, the last 3 seasons, they're averaging it by double digits. So I think it's 11 points, right? But when they lose games, they're averaging losing by 11 or 12 points. So it's like when they lose, their heads go. You know what I mean? It's never a close game and they just lost it and Giannis missed it. No, it's all when the game starts to get away from them, they implode. You know, that's the type of thing your coach and your scout should know and say, listen, KD, just go out there. Trust me, 3 of your threes drop and it goes from all of a sudden a 15-point game to a 4-point game.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Exactly. So I mean, they obviously do the math, they calculate things, they know they're going back to Brooklyn. But it was a bit telling for me. I'm sure like it would have been nice to see, you know, that would have been a teaser to KD going at 1-to-1. I guess a similar question to what I asked you before, but this one's more apparent. Do you think they're gonna rush Kyrie and Harden back now, or one of the other? I don't know how far Harden is, to be honest. That hamstring's a bit. That one's a bit worse probably than the sprain, isn't it? So
it's a muscle injury. So muscles you can't force to heal. You can't strap them up and force them to heal. And he's had 2 setbacks with that hamstring already. So I doubt
the same leg, right?
Same leg, yeah. Kyrie, it's an ankle sprain. They sprain him every other day. A ligament is just a support for the bone, so you can kind of mimic that with certain taping and boots. Looking at the severity, though, I wouldn't be surprised if Kyrie came back, even game 6, but I would be surprised if he came back and he was Kyrie Irving. You know, I think if I was a coach, I'd put him on because he's a distractor mentally. You know, you'd have to dedicate a defender to him. You know, no matter what situation he's in. But I'd be surprised if he came back as Kyrie Irving. But I reckon Kyrie will be back. Harden, not so much.
It's really interesting because it's like where the mental aspects and chess piece element comes to it, because if Kyrie comes back, like you say, the injuries both of them have sustained kind of affect their game quite a lot. So much of a 6 shooter, he can literally just sit in the corner and be a spot up, drill. But who in that team is going to be the like dribble passer of the ball if without Harden on there?
Okay, so I'll tell
Same thing
you
for Harden. The hamstrings hurt. All right, you got a prediction. You got someone's going to step up.
I'll tell you what is going to happen. Right?
If it's BG, okay.
I think that the Nets are going to go through in 7. I think game 5, what we're going to see is a 40+ point game from KD with at least 7 assists and at least 7 rebounds. And you're going to see Mike James step up from the bench with 22.
Nice.
He's been waiting for this his whole life. You know, when these G League players are hungry, I think he can do it for one game. And then Blake, I think he's going to get 12 and 10. And I think the Milwaukee Bucks are going to do what they do, which is, you know, that Lana Rhodes, that, you know, just as usual, just flop. I don't have faith in them. I like Giannis, but I don't have faith in these Bucks. And then what I think is 6, Milwaukee will win, and 7, one of the stars will come back to help KD and just get him over the line. That's my prediction.
I mean, that'd be a beautiful narrative. That's like the fairy, not the fairy tale. That's the cinema version. That's the James Cameron. Everything's lined up perfectly, and to be honest, I wouldn't even put it past it the way this postseason's going. I mean, I don't want the Nets to go through. Don't care, regardless of their health. So, I really want to back the Bucks. But the only way I see the Bucks doing it is in 6, like you say. I don't. If they go 7, the Nets won't lose. They will bring back anyone they have to get to the final, and then then to the Eastern Conference Final, and then worry about that whole series later. So can the Bucks do it now? Like 4 straight, basically. You know, back to back. PJ Tucker was immense on KD. Like he was in his grill and bothering him.
That's the type of thing that gets him pissed off.
KD awoke, exactly. So I'm thinking, damn, I don't know if that's going to work. Drew Holiday was also immense. Middleton can only seem to shoot in Milwaukee. There's just so much against them. Like Giannis still has to be honest. He still took too many threes yesterday. I think he was like 6 threes or 6 free attempts. And watching him, he's little like in the paint, come back out and then do like a seismic run up, and it's like the defender it can see what he's gonna do, and just takes a charge or does a horrible rebound. I mean, I want Bucks in 6, but I will probably say I don't want. I gotta be different to you. We can't agree on everything. Let me say Nets in 6.
You're gonna
say Nets in 6.
Ooh, so even Nets are just gonna win the next 2. You just say
like
you like just cooking up.
Yeah. My heart wants the Bucks with every fiber of my soul to go through, but I feel like I'm with you on KD exploding for at least one game. So maybe they do like a team performance win this one, and then KD kills the next one, or vice versa.
Well, like,
that can come.
Just finishes the game.
He just like goes into this zone mode. His feet, I remember from OKC days, he's so lanky, he like dribbles the ball up. The way his feet set aren't like how I think people are trained to shoot. So look at Steph Curry, his whole body's in motion. They come in and he looks like he's like just so tall. Even for basketball, it seems so tall, but he just like come up, and he'll do that like 6 times, and then the Brooklyn's going wild. Jay-Z's there dabbing him up. He's got a show on.
His little
it's a different story.
You know that little?
Yeah.
Oh,
that little me mugging side. Yeah.
Hot take from you, Tobes. Just to wrap up, if Giannis goes on to win this title, who's got a better legacy, Giannis or KD?
Oof. I mean, it's still KD. It's still KD overall because in terms of impact on the game and what he's done, KD's there. But personally, as he always answers with the head, isn't it? That's why I say these weird things. But in my heart, I'd rate Giannis.
Back-to-back MVPs, defensive.
Back-to-back MVP, defensive
won the title with that team,
multiple All-Star, and won for Milwaukee. That would be big. That would be big. He's still got to do a few more things, I think, to get to.
He wins Finals MVP. He's his CV's done, though.
One and done's.
Then he just needs the longevity stats. He needs to be like.
Then you need longevity. Then you can bucket him with Dirk Nowitzki, Kevin Garnett. One-time champions with crazy stats and crazy accomplishments. But he should strive for more. Why not?
Oh, I'd love to see it. I honestly, listen, it's devastated me the amount of injuries, the way injuries have affected the NBA this year. I think it's really been disappointing. But we expected it from the beginning, to be honest, because of the schedule and everything. It all just accumulates. So it's a terrible shame. With that having been said, sometimes you do need a bit of chaos in the system. And imagine, people might not think it's Hollywood, but imagine like a Jazz Milwaukee final. You know what I mean? That would be an entertaining 7-game series. Just new people, new teams, young players. It's just, and it's great to not see something that we expected to happen. It's great to not see a super team in there just once in a while. You know what I mean? Because next year, listen, again, health, knock wood, it's going to be the Nets. The Nets have got the next 3 years. So if something chaotic happens, and it's not the Nets versus Lakers for 3 years straight, then we've got to take that as well. That's just my personal view. I think the next time we speak, the way basketball works, the next time we speak will probably be next week. Obviously we'll have content on the IG, but the next time we speak formally, hopefully the boys will be back. It'll be next week. A lot might have changed. We'll be in the locking of the Eastern Conference and Western Conference finals. God knows what's going to happen, but I'm down for it. As I said, my predictions still are Brooklyn coming out of the East and the Clippers coming out of the West. I have been wrong about every single thing this year. I'm putting that on wax, but I am going with it. I'm mentally strong enough to go with it.
I'm laughing because I can see it being Suns Bucks now.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. But we'll have to see. I'm looking forward to that, Tobes. I know in a really roundabout way, you're actually with me. So you actually still think, but you still picked the Nets out of the East and the Clippers out of the West. You just did it in a more convoluted way than me.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Them feel good sons are turning me, man. I'm here for the form train. I'm loving what's going on there. But yeah, I'll stick with the gut. Always stick with the gut. Fuck.
Well, as I said, by next week, a lot could have changed, and we're here for you. In the meantime, Toes, thank you very much for joining. It's been an absolute pleasure. Guys, lives are great. I'm really enjoying it. We're going to do loads more. We'll start, we've done a couple of practice runs now. We're going to start promoting it a lot on the page. So, by the finals, I'm expecting people to be getting involved. It's great. It's great. In the meantime, peace out. Gotta leave you for now. See you next week. Just let it drop.
Adios.